Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. So it's been quite a few months now, 3 or 4 months, something like that. Lots of excuses why I've been ignoring the camper, but I've been completely ignoring it, mostly because it was hot. I didn't want to be in the garage sweating, and a bunch of other excuses. I had to work on the wife's car multiple times, yada, 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 but also just had no motivation. I didn't want to touch this thing, so I kind of ignored it for quite a while. I got more into the dirt bike riding a little bit, did a bunch of stuff around the house, blah, 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 blah. But about a month ago, I finally says, okay, I cleaned everything off, and I says, all right, let's get back into this. We had the skin for the interior. We had this made, and I just needed to cut a piece to go along the bottom. That's what this piece is here. And I measured everything out. I got it on the table saw, and I cut it, and then I brought it back in here. And of course, this template was up on these sticks. And I put it in there to check it, and I had cut on the wrong side of the line. So I immediately was quite disheartened, pretty upset about that, and immediately just cleaned everything up, put everything away, and said, all right, I'm done. So that was about a month ago. But then, of course, after that, I realized that even though this piece here, even though I cut on the wrong side of the line, it's a tapered piece. So this side is skinnier than this side. This side is wider because of the angles and stuff with the camper, blah, blah, blah. So it ended up being that all I had to do is take this piece and just kind of slide it that way a little bit more. And then it would grow, basically, in height, because it's taller on this side. So as I slid it that way, it ended up fitting just fine. So I had to cut a little bit off of this end, and then I'm going to have a piece on this end to make up that last little bit of difference. So they give you a little bit of an idea real quick. So this piece is going to get glued on right about like that, and then that piece gets attached to this. And I'm making my studs and whatnot today. Today is Thanksgiving Day, so thank God for a holiday. So I've spent the last 2 weeks getting everything ready. I says, you know what, I want to take advantage of this. So about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, the neighbor, I saw they had this table that was not really being used. It was kind of rotting away. And the top was really messed up, but they had this really nice frame on it that was really super straight. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's really super straight. And that's exactly what I've been looking for, to have a table to put materials on. So that's what I did here. I went ahead and put on a new top with some plywood and then reinforced all the corners. So now I have a super flat, super straight material table where I can store big sheets of flat foam and plywood. I've got some new plywood in here, stuffed up in there. So now, thank God, that was one of my big hurdles, was trying to find a place to keep all the storage. That's because I've been keeping it on the bed of the camper, and it's just constantly been in the way. And then the other big thing was I need some kind of assembly table. So believe it or not, these cheap ass 10-foot sawhorses, 3 sticks of pressure treated, because it's the straightest stuff I could find was pressure treated, super straight, 2x4s, $6 each, and then the plywood. By the time I got back, that was $200, and I don't even know how that happened. So $200 for a table that I'm going to use twice, or I guess 1 2/3. So a table I'm going to use 1 2/3 times, nearly $200. But the point is, now we have the assembly table ready, and we got our material table. So there's no more piling shit up in here, hopefully. Of course it will. Naturally, this is a table. Naturally, the tendency is to just start putting stuff on here. Every time I come in the garage, bring something home, it goes right here. But hopefully, putting up the walls, we're going to get away from that. Also, I brought out all of my camping gear out of the closet, and I've stuffed a lot of it and filled up this camper, trying to get all the weight. I'm trying to get it fully weighted because this thing is bending pretty good. So I want all this skin to be built with full weight in it. So we've also, this morning I took the time and I got jacks underneath the axle, and now the wheels are not on the ground anymore. So that way we've got our axle nice and leveled out, because this is going to be here for quite some time now. We don't want to be moving this now that we're going to be doing all this body work and exterior skins and all that. We want this thing to stay for, you know, pretty much ever until we're done. So that means jacking it up, and then I got all the stabilizers out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measured everything, and we're mostly level enough. We are slightly uphill on this side, but that's fine. I don't care about it being level as long as it's not twisted. So this off level is equal to that off level. They're the same amount of off level. That's what we want. As long as they're parallel is the big thing. So it's parallel, it's flat, it's straight enough. So now that everything is secure, now we can for sure start building. And of course, I keep dragging my feet because I'm just hyper worried about this structure. I see this thing going down the road and bending and twisting a lot. I see how much the frame is flexing. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the frame is going to bend at all. I mean, let me rephrase. I don't think it's going to break at all. But it certainly has more flex in it than I wanted to have. Looking back, you know, I think I wish I had done C-channels or I-beams, because I don't think the box tube is structurally as rigid. And this is 1/8 of an inch box tube, and it's, you know, what is it, 1.5 by 4 inch. I thought that would be plenty stiff enough, but apparently, yeah, I should have went with some C-channel or something. So I see this whole upper structure doing a lot of flexing, and I don't think that's really, you know, I'm fearful that I'm going to put so much work into this, and then this thing's just going to fall apart going down the road. But it should all flex anyway. I mean, all the wood is flexible, the foam is flexible, so, and the glues, all the glues should be some amount of flexible. Most of them that I'm using are not hard type glues. There's more, you know, flexible type glues. So hopefully over time this is going to hold together. But that's one of the biggest reasons why I've had no motivation, zero motivation, because of the whole, this thing flexing itself apart. So that's my biggest worry. And then yeah, with other things that, like, I wish I'd have made it about 1.5 foot shorter. Some other things, I'm already thinking about version 2.0, so I'm kind of in my head, I'd rather be working on version 2 instead of continuing here, but we're already this deep into it. I mean, we put about, what, I think this is coming up on, no, we passed the 2-year anniversary. That was back in like September, I think, or somewhere in the summertime is when I got the axles. I think I got the axles in like June or July, something like that. I think I started assembly just around before Thanksgiving 2 years ago. So we're at the 2-year mark. This is all we've gotten so far because I've just been so unmotivated these last 3-4 months, but it's time. We're gonna do our Trump impersonation. We're gonna build a wall. So let's build this wall, and then we'll worry about building the other wall, and then of course the skin. But this is where we're at. This is what we're getting to. I got 4 days, see what we can do. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. For the 2 people that watch this channel, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you and yours are doing well this holiday season. So thanks for watching.